and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nicola and I make lifestyle videos, and today I thought, well, I was going to film an Easter house tour today. However, the house is a bit of a mess so it needs a bit of a clean, so I'm going to do that later, and then I'm probably going to film that tomorrow and then put that up on Sunday. So I thought, rather than go without my normal Wednesday video, I would film something a bit different. So I know that obviously everybody at the moment is in the same situation. We're all having to stay indoors, stay at home and stay safe, and some people probably are coping with it slightly better than others. I have good days and bad days, and I'm used to being at home. I work at home anyway, so it's not hugely different for me in that respect. However, having everybody else here all the time can be very different and quite stressful. And yeah, that I've found that I've sort of fallen into a way of dealing with the new situation, and I thought I would share a few tips that I have used to make things a little bit easier, really. So I thought I would share those because, hey, we could all do with tips from time to time and things to help this situation pass as quickly as possible and as pleasantly as possible. So tip number one is to get yourself some sort of routine. Now, it can be as flexible as you like. It doesn't have to be a strict, you know, 9 o'clock we do this, 10 o'clock we do that. I mean, I've got a routine written down for homeschooling, but this video isn't so much about homeschooling, but more about our family as a whole and how we're coping. Now, Andrew and I have very much a definite routine each day of things we do. You know, that we do the Joe Wicks, well, Phoebe and I do the Joe Wicks workout. Andrew does his workout at the same time. I'm loving it. I mean, I've always done a workout. I used to get up at 6 and do a workout. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably getting up at about 6, half 6 anyway. But being able to do that workout with Phoebe and encourage her, because she probably wouldn't have done it otherwise, is really good. Personally, I would like it to be a bit earlier, and I'm contemplating delaying it, so doing the day befores and doing it at 8 o'clock, but Phoebe likes doing it live, so we'll probably carry on doing it at 9. But yeah, so we do the Joe Wicks workout every day, and that really starts the day off. We do that, and then we go and get dressed, get changed, showered, whatever, and then at 10 o'clock Phoebe sits down to do some work, and I will crack on with my work. And then we tend to go out for a dog walk between 12 and 1 every day, and we try and get all of us out. Sometimes it's quite hard to get Archie to come out as well. He's in very much no routine mode. He's in chill out, was supposed to be doing his GCSEs, now isn't, and has no work to do at the moment, so is quite happy playing on his PlayStation, going on YouTube, chatting to his friends online, and I'm letting him crack on, and he's quite happy with that. But I do try and encourage him to come out for a walk with us at least every other day. So we do that walk, we have our dinner at a certain time each day, and we perhaps do something after dinner together. But yeah, we try and have some sort of loose routine. I find a routine very comforting, knowing that X is going to happen at this time and this is going to happen at this time. It just makes the day feel a little bit more normal. At the weekend just gone, our Saturdays, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know, are usually really hectic with dance and orchestra and shopping and all sorts. And obviously this Saturday, none of that was happening, and we were just at home. And obviously, because I'm still working, I'm not doing as much work, but I am still working. Saturday, suddenly I had no work to do either, and it probably was my lowest day so far. I found it very difficult to just switch off and relax. I did sit and watch videos and things and watch a bit of telly, but I felt guilty doing that. And then I felt that I had too much time to think about things that were going on. It just was a bit of a rubbish day, and I was tired, but not physically tired at the end of the day. I was sort of emotionally tired, and yeah, it just wasn't a good day. So Sunday I made sure that I had lots to do, and you know, stuck to a routine, got up a certain time and did this and that, and actually I cooked a roast at the time we would normally have a roast on a Sunday, and that helped. So yeah, I would say find a routine and try and stick to that, and stick to it every day if you can. You don't have to obviously do work at the weekends, but you know, do something at the normal times, and I think that generally that will make you feel a bit better. Tip number 2 is sort of linked to that first one, and it is to keep yourself busy, find things to do. So if you're not working, excuse me, so if you're not working, then, I mean, Andrew, my other half, isn't working. He's at home and is usually a manically busy person as well during the day, and he drives all around the country with his job, and he's constantly on the go. And then when he gets home, he's helping me out with picking kids up from here, there and everywhere, and then he'll quite often do dinner. And so yeah, for him suddenly to go from that to doing absolutely nothing is quite difficult. So he's got structured time now for his workout in the morning, and then he does another workout later on in the afternoon, and he's just found lots of DIY jobs to do. So he and I wallpapered my office last week, which we had the wallpaper, I bought it months and months and months ago, and it's just been sat on the floor in my office waiting for us to have a time to do it. And it's at this time it's quite easy to think, oh, we've got ages, we'll do that a couple of weeks time, you know, because you don't know how long we're going to be indoors for, but it's probably going to be a matter of months as opposed to weeks. So you think, oh, we'll just do it later, but then that time, you know, quickly comes by and suddenly you found you've done nothing. So we're trying to do sort of a job a day, or, you know, every couple of days, to try and, you know, make this time productive so that we come out the other end having rested, because that's really important, but also having achieved a few things. So yeah, we've done my office, we have cleaned and tidied the house, but it needs doing again now. I put up the Easter decorations. What else have we done? Oh, we've completely gutted Archie's bedroom, ready to have that decorated. He needs a bit of furniture, and he's going to have a desk and then a computer ready for when he does his A-levels next year. So that's sort of a process that's ongoing. And today I can actually see them behind the camera here out in our garden. Archie, and we've had a skip delivered, which was booked before we were on lockdown, and we are gutting everything. So there's so much rubbish in the garden. The trampoline had to be taken apart because that broke in the storms, so that's going in there. And they have got a turf cutter and are cutting the turf, and we're going to lay a new turf in the garden because that so desperately needs doing, so that actually we'll have a nice garden to sit in at the end of it. We had our patio laid last year in the summer, and we never got round or had the money to do the grass, so that's going to be done this week, and I'm really looking forward to that. So it's just little things to keep you busy. If you've got little home DIY things, or you've always wanted to, I don't know, change up your spare room or something like that, then now's a perfect time to do it. You know, and you only have to do a little bit a day, but it just, if you've got something to keep you busy and keep your mind busy, it just stops you dwelling on the negatives that are around at the moment. So yeah, tip number 2 is to keep yourself busy. Tip number 3 would be to get outside if you can. Now, obviously some people who are completely self-isolating are unable to go outside, and I feel for those people, especially if you don't have a garden or anything. Something that's really kept me going is being able to get outside for a walk. And we don't live in the countryside, we live in a town, but we do have a big field and a little wood just across the road from us. So we are able to get out in a bit of green and let the dog have a nice run, and go for a good walk, get in the fresh air. It breaks up the day. We do it in the middle of the day. We do that, and then we come back and have lunch, and it just feels like a really nice way to break up the day and get out and get some fresh air, get some colour in your cheeks. If you can't get out and you've got a garden, then equally you can walk around your garden. But while we can get out, and there may be a time when we're not allowed to go for walks anymore, but while we can, then I think it's important that we do. And you know, we don't pass anybody really when we're out, very few people around, and if we do, then we give them a wide berth and let them walk on the other side of the field. So we are nowhere near anybody, but it's just great, and I feel it makes a real difference to get out in the fresh air and, you know, walk the dog and have a bit of exercise. Number 4 is a tip just for our family really, that it may apply to yours, but a lovely family that we know posted a picture on Instagram of them playing Monopoly, and I said we have completely steered clear of board games because they cause friction. So my 4th point is to avoid anything that might cause friction in your house, especially if you're a house of lots of people. If you're on your own, different. However, if you've got a big family, or even if you're a couple, avoid anything that would normally cause friction in your house, because in times when emotions are high and you're all stuck in together, then those frictions are going to seem 10 times worse. So we have steered clear of board games. It might seem a great time, you know, when you're all stuck in together to play some board games and have fun, and if you can do that without the arguments, then go for it. I think it's a great thing to do. However, it's just something that we have avoided because it always creates arguments. We are four very competitive people, and everybody wants to win, and obviously only one person can win a board game, and it creates some real tension. So we have steered clear of that. There are things we can do together, you know, like the kids will go out and play Kirby's and do that sort of game, and we've been practicing lots of gymnastics in the garden with Phoebe, and we can play on the Wii because that doesn't seem to have the same friction, and Archie will play on his PlayStation, and that's fine. Andrew has played a little bit on the PlayStation, but I think he finds that a bit stressful, so he's avoided that. But there are things we can do together, and a puzzle is a really good thing to do, and we've got several and we haven't cracked them open yet. I think we're sort of trying to spread out the fun a little bit, but definitely a puzzle will be something that we will get out fairly soon. I actually bought a puzzle for my parents and sent it to them from Amazon, and they have been loving that, and I'm going to get them some puzzle books. I've got to do their shopping this week and deliver that to them, so I'm going to get them some puzzle books and magazines and things to keep them happy, because they are in their 80s and are self-isolating at home, so aren't able to get out and do things like that. So I'm going to get some things for them to keep them busy. But yeah, I would recommend you avoid anything that causes friction in your household. And last of all, I would recommend that if you can, do something each day that makes you smile, that makes you happy, that makes you feel a bit normal. I think things like, you know, last night I just felt pretty miserable yesterday. I had a low day, and so I went and had a lovely bath in the evening, had a glass of wine, and that made me feel really good. Having said that, having glasses of wine and biscuits and crisps and treats is another thing that I have been doing to make myself feel better, and I need to stop because it's very tempting to tuck into all the treats while you're stuck at home, especially when there are Easter eggs and things around. So I'm trying to limit that a little, but it can be very tempting to treat yourself with food and alcohol. However, I think it's good to, you know, have a little treat every now and then, something that makes you feel a bit more normal. I have made online Zoom dates with some friends. We had 2 last week with 2 different sets of friends, and it was so nice just to chat to them and chill out a bit, and I know lots of people have been doing the same. I'm a bit gutted that I hadn't managed to sort out something like that with my parents. They are completely un-tech savvy. They have no idea. My mum can just about get online to read emails, and that is it. So I'm a bit disappointed because I would have liked to have shown her how to use Skype or something so that the children could have messaged her. Andrew's mum has FaceTime, and so she can speak to the children regularly and speak to us on FaceTime, whereas my parents don't have that. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that I wasn't able to sort that out beforehand so that we could have that bit of connection. But we speak to them regularly on the phone, so that's fine. But yeah, so something that makes you feel a bit normal each day, something that cheers you up, I think is really good in these uncertain and unsettling times. And finally, I think it's good to remember that it's okay to have bad days. And I've mentioned a few times here that, you know, I've had a few bad days since this all kicked off, and you know, I think it's okay to have days where you feel a bit rubbish. And ironically, it seems to be the same days. I know last Thursday, and I think on Facebook and on Instagram, loads of people had said they were having a rough day last Thursday. And I think the kids, especially Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, were quite enthusiastic about home learning and quite excited about it and really happy to get stuck into Joe Wicks every day. And by Thursday, it was a bit like, oh, I've had enough of this. I'm not so sure about this. So I think there are always going to be down days, and it's important to realise that it's okay to not be okay some days, and it's just a down day, and tomorrow you'll probably feel an awful lot better. So I hope these tips have helped you a little bit in coming up with some ideas to help you cope a little bit better during this lockdown period. It won't be forever, it will end eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later. If you like this video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe by clicking the button down there, and that would be great too. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.